Peace and blessings, peace and greetings. This is your girl Mojo. Topic of today's video tarot reading is new moon guidance for earth signs. That covers Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Capricorn is actually my moon and rising sign, so this reading is for me as well. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't know what the cards are going to say. Haven't turned them over yet, just laid them out. Again, new moon guidance for earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I'm just going to light my incense here and let that smoke spread. And then we'll get started. Let me go ahead and get it in place here. Would probably help if I could see where to put the dang on thing. Okay. Jeez, this is so hard. What if I stood up? Right, it never goes as smoothly as I want it to. Goodness. Okay. New moon guidance. New moon is coming up on Friday, the 16th. New moon in Libra, which happens to be my sun sign. So we're looking at balance. Where are we out of balance in our lives? Where can we have more balance? And hopefully this reading will help uncover some of that. I'm going to go ahead and flip my cards over. Now this is the spread. So each of these cards corresponds to a particular question statement, and these are just for additional guidance that I will reveal at the end. Okay. Card 1, card 2, card 3. I see that card a lot. I get this a lot. Hangman. I was actually just talking about that yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yesterday with my friend. How often I see that. Okay. Wow, this is a very sword heavy reading. So we're earth signs, right? That's the element of earth, tangible, visible, things that you can encounter with your senses. And in that sense, earth is a very sensual element, because it's what you can see, touch, taste, and feel. However, what I'm seeing here is that, in a lot of ways, this is like the first video I did for the fire signs, in that, this is a very mental, energy. I'm getting that the balance needs to be struck within our minds, because it's where everything else comes from. What you think definitely has an effect on how you live, how you see your life. The thought always precedes the emotion. Where if you think something's bad or not good, not pleasant, then you have those corresponding feelings. Whereas if your perspective can change and you see something as good or pleasant, then you have feelings that correspond to that. So let's see. First question: what area of my life is currently imbalanced? So again, this is a swords, well, not a swords. These are swords, which correspond to the element of air. So that has to do with the realm of thoughts, the mental realm. 8 of Swords. In this card, the person looks to be kind of imprisoned by the swords. So I want to say, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you are kind of being imprisoned. Did I say imprisoned already? You're being imprisoned. You're being held back by these thoughts that you're having about whatever it is you're thinking about. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's an idea or something that you're trying to do or something that you want to do. Maybe something that you'd like to have happen in your life, but you feel like really negative about it. And maybe things have happened before, so you've kind of got this precedent established in your mind about how it's going to go. And so that is forming a barrier around you, actually is keeping you from moving out of that space, which is not good. You know what I mean? Like I said, the thoughts precede the feelings, so you're kind of like continuing to create this negativity when it doesn't have to be like that. You can get up and walk away from that. You can knock the swords down. In your life, that looks like reevaluating, revisiting thoughts and feelings that you may have about things, and giving you a chance to have a difference of perspective. Card number 2, how can I best balance the different facets of my life? Now, this is interesting. In the reading I did for the fire signs, they got a sword here, and the second card was also cups. So it looks like kind of the same thing for us, for earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Seven of Cups is the card you got in this situation, but it's reversed. It was actually like that in the first reading for the fire signs too, with the reverse cup. So I feel like kind of tapping into that emotional side, letting yourself feel the sense of wonder and amazement at starting out on something new versus, paying attention to the fear and everything that will crop up to say, oh, this isn't going to work, oh, this isn't going to happen. You can really kind of let yourself be carried away, in a sense, by the amazement and the excitement. That will act as a barrier to the doubts and the fears, and it will, kind of be the thing that helps push you on versus seeing all the options that you have and feeling afraid, or seeing all the things that could go wrong with something. You can focus instead on what you hope will actually go right with everything. Or even, not even necessarily focusing on what you hope will go right, but having fun with what you're doing, kind of being caught up in this whirlpool, so to speak, uh, this emotional movement that's really the driving force behind what you're doing. Instead of being waylaid by all these things, being stuck out here in this desert, in this dry land, realizing that your source is actually something different. For the third card, what messages do my guides have for me? That is the Hanged Man. It is in reverse. Being, ooh, goodness gracious. Why am I making all those sounds? Because, like I said, I get this card a lot. And then I just remembered that today Mercury went retrograde. So, a lot of us may already have had things started. Maybe we're trying to actually get something started. And we're encountering all of this apparent opposition, which is enough, to make you want to quit. Like, man, forget it. Is this what I'm about to have to deal with? Short answer, yes. Because, delays and setbacks, those are just a part of life. For the specific time period that we're in, I want to say, because Mercury goes retrograde 4 times a year. So this is something we should be used to already. This is something that just happens. And I feel like it happens as often as it does because of what it's actually calling us to do. It's not that you should get used to having trouble or problems. That's not what I'm saying at all. But Mercury retrograde, like all the other retrogrades for the particular area that they pertain to, they want us to slow down and review, and have a chance to be really confident in what we're doing. What we're saying, how we're moving. For Mercury retrograde, the focus is on communication, transfer, traveling between 2 points, or talking to one person or another person or a group of people, and how that message travels from one point to the other. All of that to say, right now, it may feel like you're just waiting, like you're just hanging around, nothing's happening, like what's really going on. I want to point out that the number of this card is 12. That is actually a 3 if you break it down even further, which corresponds to the Empress, which corresponds to the womb, which in a way is a very liminal space. It's just a space, for example, when a woman is pregnant, where the baby grows. You can think of underground when you plant a seed as the same type of energy. There's a lot of things happening inside that womb that we can't see. The only evidence really is when her belly swells. The same thing with the seed, except the earth doesn't really swell with that. You don't know what's happening until the first little sprout actually pokes up out of the ground. So, while you may think nothing is happening, it's actually a lot going on. There's a lot of energy being poured into this situation, where you have an opportunity for wisdom, for growth, for communication, and you can really take confidence in the fact that even though you don't see anything happening, there's actually a lot happening, and this is really just part of the process. As a parent, I want to say thank God I didn't immediately have the baby. I had a waiting period. I got pregnant, and then 9 months later, a baby came. And all of that time that passed was really for both of our benefits. The baby had time to be created or knit together or put together within me, so that it could fully function in the world once it got here. But I also had time to prepare for its arrival. I had to get clothes, I had to get formula, I had to get a crib, baby toys, and all of this stuff, besides the mental preparation that I needed to get ready for his arrival. Yeah. Hangman. So the guides are really telling you, just chill, chill. Take a breather. You can relax. Keep doing what you're doing. As far as the work that you're doing, and just know that all things happen according to their time. For the fourth card, what needs to be sacrificed in order to start fresh? Okay, it says Page of Swords. It's funny. So here we are, back at this element of air, back at the mind. I want to say the Page of Swords really represents like new ideas, being put into action. Maybe for some of you, or rather maybe for some of us, we feel like what we're doing isn't working. So, because we're having to wait around for things to show up, and so we keep trying to come up with new ideas and new things to do. And sometimes that's okay, but I feel like for some of us, we need to not be adding any more to what's already happening. Like, what is it? When you evaluate what you're doing and you feel really passionate about it, and you absolutely believe in it, and without a shadow of a doubt that you're giving it everything you've got, that doesn't mean just because you don't see any results right away that You are supposed to just keep trying to add new shit on top of it. I think for some of us, we just need to stick with what we have already and give that a chance to come to fruition. Now after a while, after you've been doing it a while, after you've given it a chance to see if things are going to happen and grow, and you don't see anything happening, then it's okay to move on. But that'd be like, I don't know, just planting a seed one day, and then the next day you go out and you're yelling at the dirt, like, why haven't you sprouted? Like, the seed is like, I need some time. I just really just got here. Like, don't. Don't be out there yelling at your seed. Give that thing a chance to sprout. Now, once you see if it's viable or not, and it doesn't work, then by all means, please move on to something else. If you feel like you don't want to continue with that, but don't continue to just pile things on top of it. For some of us, I think this card is saying you may be feeling like, because you're new or that you don't have as much experience as some other people that do what it is that you're trying to do, that you feel like you can't get out there, or maybe that's why things aren't happening for you. But that newness is what makes it unique for you. Beside the fact that we all have to start somewhere. There's no reason for you to beat yourself up about not being at the same level as somebody else. That's their journey, that's their walk, and this is yours. This is your particular special thing, whatever it is, and you can fully and confidently embrace yourself exactly where you are. You don't need to be where anybody else is. You just need to be where you are. So, don't beat yourself up for not being as confident, or excuse me, as knowledgeable or as experienced as somebody that you look up to. You can get there eventually, after you put in the time and the effort and the work. See, a sequoia doesn't immediately become a sequoia. It has to grow. Sequoia is like the tallest tree in the world. Now imagine that starts from just a little seed of nothing, and then it's this looming, hulking giant. And that only comes with time. Eventually, you will be experienced. Eventually, if you keep going, you will be the person that people are looking up to. Like, oh, hey, experienced person, can you give me some tips? That kind of thing. Maybe for some of you, Taurus, Virgo, Sagittarius, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Let me turn these notifications off because this is gonna get on my nerves if this keeps happening. Okay. Maybe for some of you, I think there's some of you that are a little, I don't know what the word is here. I want to say defiant. Like, you are so convinced that you're so convinced that you don't have anything else to learn about this thing. You're so convinced that you've got it. But the thing about being new is sometimes you need instruction. Sometimes you need help, and it's okay to ask for help. Like, you don't have to feel bad about having questions. I don't know what arena this applies in for you, but I feel like some of you need to be okay with getting help. Some of you need to be okay with being unsure and still needing instruction, even though you're kind of trying to step out on your own here. Like, by all means, step out, but also know that help and support are available. Like, you don't have to reject that. Card number 5. What intention can we set during this new moon that will be most beneficial to you? Okay. I mean, oh, it's so many intentions you could go for with this. This card is the Nine of Swords reversed. I want to say the intention could be, I will not set traps for myself in my mind. I will trust my intuition. I will not drive myself crazy with worry and with doubt, because that's what the Nine of Swords is. You're being surrounded and hounded by just all these doubtful, worrisome thoughts, and they aren't helping. Whatever you're trying to get to, pardon me, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish in your life is not going to be helped by you constantly dwelling on what isn't working or what is worrisome or what you hope doesn't happen. You need to program your reality with something more positive, something that you want to focus on, such as your intuition or even the emotional joy that you get from doing this thing. Where will your soul searching lead you? It says the Seven of Swords. So I feel like, let's see, Seven of Swords. Where is this going to lead you? You're going to come to some new understanding about yourself and about how your mind works, about how our fears can really be very malicious and sneaky. How they'll just come and steal your joy, steal your thoughts. And I think you'll begin to get an understanding of how you participate in that with yourself. Besides that, you may have some exposing of people in your life who support this negativity. If they aren't going to agree to fix their own shit, then it's probably not somebody you should be hanging around with. I personally don't have a lot of people that I interact with on a very deep level like that. So, I mean, I just don't have a lot of people. So I know there's not really anybody like this in my life, and this is more so speaking to my own inner joy thief. But some of us, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, we might kind of have a lot of people around us, and you gotta be on the lookout for those sneaky snakes in the grass that want to come and burden you with, encouraging these doubts and fears. They're not holding space for you, really, so you can feel safe and share what you need to. They're trying to collect secrets and other bullshit for whatever reason. Some of these people are energy vampires. Some of these people just don't really have nothing else going for themselves, and so they take joy and pleasure in coming to sow discord in the lives of others. Your intuition is going to let you know if there's a person like that. You may feel a little different around them, or you may just examine your conversation with them and find out the only time you all really have anything to talk about is when they have gossip about somebody else, or the only thing they really have to contribute to your conversations is something that's sneaky and kind of malicious. Those are the people you kind of want to get away from. I mean, unless you like that sort of thing, but I'm just saying they're not really adding anything to what you've got going on, and in fact, they are kind of contributing to the negativity that you may be experiencing already. Uh, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so Soul's Journey card here is saying peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. That's a great affirmation I feel like this is overall about you needing to find peace in your mind, balancing between your thoughts and your intuition, knowing how to handle yourself when you start to feel, kind of chaotic, not really sure, or in a place of doubt, when you rely upon your peace as opposed to letting these doubts take control of everything, then even when you are going through things, you can just have a better experience of it. Not to say that the bad things ever go away or that they won't return. Nobody feels happy and joyful all the time. That's just a fact of life. I don't know what life would be like if that was the case. When things get bad or when things get good, that's how we know what the opposite of that is. Would we really know and appreciate what a beautiful sunny day was if it never rained sometimes? But, again, back to this card, I think overall this is about balancing yourself so that you can maximize and optimize your peace, so that when you do have those negative feelings, those doubtful thoughts, you know how to meet them. You know how to acknowledge them, accept them, and then move on versus getting caught up in it and basically driving yourself crazy. The power animal guidance card here is moose. The key word is authority, and it says you know what is best for you. I think this relates to this, these cards about the agony that's caused from the doubtful and worrisome thoughts. Like, you can totally rest in the fact that you know what you're doing. I remember seeing something about the Page of Swords and feeling like, oh, you just got it all in the bag. I'm not saying that you can't trust what you know. In that case, I'm saying just don't be afraid or don't be closed off to receiving input that's helpful. Obviously, again, this is being reiterated here that you do know what's best for you. You can absolutely, trust your choices, trust your mind, trust your thoughts, and all of that. But again, for some of us, I just felt like, we might be in the mind frame of, oh, you don't need any help. Listen, we are communal. That is what life on this planet is. It's all connected and it's all affected by everything that everybody else does. So you don't need to feel like less of whatever it is you're trying to be just because you may need input or assistance from somewhere. And if you do feel like you don't, then that's fine too. You know better than anybody what it is that you need. All I'm saying is don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's absolutely okay. I don't remember which I switched over first. Okay. So, messaging from the ancestors. First card is the Dancer of Life, and the second card is the Hunter of Death. I don't think these actually get read reversed, because in the book there's not really anything to differentiate between upright and reversed. But these are ancestor, like shamanic ancestor cards. The deck is actually called the Shaman's Oracle, Wisdom and Guidance from the Ancestors. Um, for the Dancer of Life, without even looking this one up, I kind of already know where it's going. And this kind of corresponds to this card, the Seven of Cups. Really about letting yourself engage with the magic and the mystery of life versus being completely overburdened by those doubts and fears, those things that are keeping you up at night. Besides the fact of stealing your sleep, they're stealing your joy. Like, you can't even really enjoy the beauty of what you're doing because we're so worried. My God, I mean, this is really hitting home for me. I can't really, you can't really enjoy what's going on because you're so caught up in just the agony, in the waiting. Like, oh my God, it. And when you're focused on how long it's taking, it seems like it's taking even longer. But once you take your attention off of it, then you're able to pass that time a little easier, a little more pleasant. Watching, trying to wait for a pot of water to boil, it's agony. Okay, so here's what the Dancer of Life says. I am the dancer of life. I celebrate all that is, all that has been, all that will be. I dance throughout all the human and spiritual realms, following the bright thread of life that connects everything that has being. I teach love, I teach strength, and I impart a belief in the sacredness of all living things. I bring with me the power that breaks down all barriers. So, that's how that's going to work out. That survives in the face of all odds, that shines forth even in the darkest of moments. The explosion of life shines out from every line of this image, a vivid depiction of the vitality and wonder of human existence. Just as our ancestors realized that they were both part of and separate from everything alive, so we continue to share that relationship. The dancer of life reinvigorates our sense of the life forces that surround us, both human and spiritual, and encourages us to learn from other beings. This dancer celebrates life and gives us the strength to seize the opportunities that each day offers and to rejoice in the spirit of adventure. Keywords for this card are energy, fertility, hope, celebration, living in the now. See, just like I was saying, this allowing yourself to key into that joy is going to help you, expand yourself beyond these limitations that you have placed on yourself and what can happen. Now let's see, the Hunter of Death. That does sound a little scary, but I don't think so. Death is really about change. It's about movement and progress. Let's see. I am the hunter of death. I seek the change that comes with new directions and new possibilities. I am not one who breaks or destroys, but one who builds and restores. I will help you to climb beyond the stasis of everyday life and into the place where all potential awaits you. I am deaf only to dullness and routine, and when you choose me to walk with, I can show you inspiring ways of changing your old life for a new one. Death can mean many more things than the demise of body or spirit. It can mean death to old ways, death to negativity, a hymn. It can indicate the cessation of old worn out ideas or beliefs and the transformation of life into something new. Our ancestors recognized death as a doorway into another world, and the hunter of death helps us to reconnect with this understanding. Death is a watershed, however much we might be anxious about it, and beyond the final stages of our life, particularly if it has now turned stale, await new views, new choices, and new pathways toward an unmapped future. So yeah, this is about allowing that transformation to take place. There's between two doors, there is some space. You go in one door, you go through a space, and then you go out of the other door, so to speak. Or, even if you just look at one doorway, there's a space that you go through before you transition to that other realm. And you know what? I feel like some of my earth signs that are watching this issue is that, it's the waiting, it's the agonizing about how long the change is going to happen. But I feel like once you key in to just the joys of whatever you can find the joy in, whether that is the joy of creating, the joy of being, that will help you to break out of these old patterns of negativity so that you can give yourself and your life and whatever it is that you're trying to make happen the space to be. Okay, and now for the Mystical Shaman Oracle cards. Now these do have a differentiation between reversed and upright. So let's see. For this one, the number is 9, the word is completion, and for this one, the number is 51, and it is the staff. Yeah, so I feel like, ooh, that corresponds to this. So I feel like this new moon is inviting you to put an end to this agony, this anguish, these things you just refuse to let go of. You know, I think it is time. I think you're being invited to move on up, to move on out of that. Uh, let's see. Let me find it. Completion. Okay, the essence of this card. All things have a beginning, a middle, and an end. This is the nature of life, the seed, the flower, and the fruit, and of all human relationships. Completion suggests the fullness of the moment and the need to transform an old form into a new one. The invitation. You have finished a cycle, and there is no more growth or benefit from hanging on to the old. In regard to relationships, it is time to honor what has been and find a new form for the future. In your ventures, it is time to reap your harvest. Completion is a time for celebration. It is the end of summer when fruit is ripe. Okay, and let's see what the staff reversed has to say. I know that won't be an invitation, that'll actually be medicine, which is to say a lesson that you can apply. The essence of this card. The staff is the symbol of authority. It holds the power. Hey, we've seen that before, right? Authority. It holds the power to temper extremes. The staff helps you to find the right course of action, the way of the middle, and aids you to maintain your balance after you begin walking in that direction. Moses carried a serpent staff through the desert, and with it he could summon the power of nature to heal or call plagues. The staff reminds you of the impermanence of things and that your authority must come from your deep longing to serve. Okay, the medicine for us. You are caught in the delicate balance between opposing forces, between masculine and feminine, between action and non action. Use this to your advantage, as there can be no day without night, no low without high. Didn't I just say that? Didn't I? No wrong without right. This is the time to take corrective action, beginning with your beliefs about what needs to be fixed or repaired. Let destiny take its course, nudging it slightly along. Okay, my earth signs, my babies. I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you take this information and put it to good use. Please remember, these are very general readings, so if something doesn't resonate with you, that's absolutely fine. Please take what you need and leave the rest. I am available for personal readings. You can just find my contact information in the notes below. Please like and subscribe. Love it if you share the video. That would be absolutely great. Thank you so much for allowing me to be of service. Take care.